Oh,
And
yeah.
it's in Atascadero, right?
Yeah, so we'll just switch gears to that. Yeah, so yeah, just closed on a house in Atascadero. Really,
How the fuck does that work?
how does it like the
how-
whole home buying process?
The
Yeah.
whole, were you going there to the house property and like crawling under the sink, checking the pipes, like were you like flushing the toilets and shit and like doing research on the plumbing history? Like what were you like?
Yeah.
Tell me your entire experience.
The entire house
From
buying
start
experience.
to finish.
Yeah.
Who you met,
Do you
like-
think your viewership is like pretty new to house buying for the most part, or like?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it's actually the second house that I bought.
I'm curious.
Yeah. No,
sure.
absolutely. No, I mean it is definitely quite the
You said the
experience.
second house you
It's
bought?
the second house that I bought.
How many houses do you have?
2.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? Bro, you're out here balling. Wait, where's the first house?
The first house is not as impressive as it sounds. It's quite the fixer-upper, but it's up in a little community called Westwood, California. It's in northeastern California near Lake Almanor, so about maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Chico. And so up in the mountains up there, you know. But I guess to back up a little bit, that house, I was just looking at houses up in the area because I forget what it started it, but me and a friend were just looking at properties and, because he wanted to buy like a cattle ranch up there or something like that. Yeah. And then, but I saw this like cabin. I mean, it's in the city of Westwood, the town of Westwood. But it was a cute little cabin, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. And obviously it needed a little bit of work, but it was only like $100,000, you know, like. And it was like a fully functioning house. Like, tell me where in SLO County can you buy an empty lot for $100,000? Like, nowhere, you know? So I was curious about it. I talked to the realtor that was, had it listed and went and looked at it. And sure enough, you know, like I said, I could use a couple touch-ups here and there, you know, need to be painted. Maybe the windows needed to be replaced. But it was cute, and I liked it, you know? And got a home inspection on it, so that's kind of answers your first question, right? Like, I don't do that. You pay somebody to go do that for
like
you.
A legit person.
Like a guy who's, like, certified to go look at a house.
That's
and, like,
fucked up if the homeowner knows the inspector.
Well, no, that's, like, standard practice for any home purchase, that you, like, get a home inspection for it.
What if the seller knows the home inspector? That has to.
That would be I guess. Yeah, that's quite the conflict of interest.
That'd be the first red flag that runs through my head.
Yeah.
Like someone else inspecting it that's not someone I
Well,
know.
usually it's like you're in California, probably everywhere, but your agent, your realtor is like legally obligated to have your best interests in mind as a client. And they, in both house transactions, they were the ones that chose the home inspector for me. So they knew him, not the owner of the house. My buyer's agent knew him.
Your buyer has an agent?
Like, yeah, I was the buyer.
Okay.
So the buyer's agent's my agent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the seller has their agent. So then my agent chose a home inspector for me that they work with to like go and like look at the house. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Why do you need an agent?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. That was a joke that I made. I was like,
how much money are they skimming off you?
Well, it's off of the seller, I guess. You know, it comes off of the purchase price of the house. Yeah. So they get a certain percentage. I'm not really sure what that is, honestly, but
is their agent a real estate agent or a different agent?
What do you mean, like the seller's agent?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real estate agents. Okay. Yeah, like residential. There's like what I understand, and I'm not an expert in real estate, but there's like commercial realtors, and then there's like residential realtors, and they kind of specify in each category. But yeah, so anyways, so yeah, then you go through the home inspection, and then that's like an escrow, right? So escrow is like the process where you're in contract basically with like the seller, and they can't now negotiate with anybody else once they accept your offer. You following me a little bit there? Yeah. So then, because I didn't know when somebody was like, "Oh, I'm an escrow." Before this, I didn't really know what that meant, you know. And then
escrow is pretty much like both parties have acknowledged a deal, and there just needs to be some time to go by to like finish everything.
Yeah, so it's like the period of time where you are finalizing your deal and you're like in contract with them is the best way that I can describe it, right? Okay. So even if once they sign the dotted line and you're in escrow, they now, unless if the deal falls through for whatever reason, can't accept any offer outside of you, right?
Why?
Because you're like in contract with them. You're like in a
Okay.
legally binding.
Can't you just be like, you know what, scratch the contracts. I know someone else down the heel side that's like
Again,
gonna pay double what you're
I'm
paying.
not a real estate expert, but that's why I understand it. Is like you're in
Okay.
escrow with them, and as long as like you're
They
doing,
sold you the house.
they like you. It's not you don't actually transfer ownership of the house till the end of escrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like there are certain things that need to happen in escrow. So you need to provide proof of funds. So you have to like actually like show bank statement saying I have the money that I say that I have.
Okay.
Right.
And is your agent telling you to like?
Yeah, they like you work with a number of different people in a home, but you work with your real estate agent, you work with the lender, you work with title. There are like so many people working on this transaction. You know what I mean? Like you would think like if you go sell your car, like if I want to sell my F-150, all I'd have to do is like talk to somebody who wants to buy it, sign the title, and then take it to the DMV, right?
Mhm.
But like with a house, dude, there's a lot of people in on that. Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
there's so many moving
Parts to it. And stuff.
parts, and there's just more people. There's more laws and regulations, and you need specialists.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Know what you're
guess.
doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So what are some of the things your agent is? You said you had to provide proof of insurance. What else? Give me some more items that they need.
yeah, I mean, like I said, proof of funds. You get insurance through the transaction, and then it's coupled in with escrow. Like I said, we had to do a home inspection to make sure that like the property was like in good standing, right? So that helps you as a buyer, right? Like let's say the home inspector comes and he's like, yeah, there's significant termite damage in this house. Like it's gonna blow over in a year, you know. Then like you can tell the seller, hey, you either knock the price down or then you then at that point you can like legally walk from it, right? If they're not willing to work with you, you can say like, okay, well, I have a home inspection that proves otherwise, right? That
And is that a written document?
yeah, they'll give you like you pay for it and then they give you like a full report, like PDF. Yeah.
How much do you pay for a home inspection?
I forget off the top of my head, but I want to say it was anywhere between like $400 to $500.
Oh,
yeah.
that's- okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like thousands.
Oh no.
I
yeah.
could see it being thousands for someone to go and like do research on the land, the property, the
Mhm.
termite shit, the fucking
Yeah.
bat shit, the fucking like any shit you name it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Well,
the cat damage on the walls
sure.
and the
Yeah.
dogs and shit. Like what have these animals been doing to the house?
They do check like every nook and cranny of the
Isn't
house.
that
Like,
gnarly? Like think about it. Like insects can like fuck up your house.
Yeah, I know.
That's fucked up.
that it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Luckily, I didn't
something-
have really any of that, but
something with an exoskeleton can like eat up your house.
could just make it fall
dumb.
over.
That's dumb. That's honestly crazy. Dude, it's something that like you don't think about it until you start thinking about
Right,
it.
yeah. No, it's like, growing up, when you live in like in your parents' house or whatever, just you take it for granted, right? You're like, oh, it's a house,
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
there's like so many things, even with my house now in Atascadero, like I've had to had like an electrician come look at stuff. I've had to like do some stuff to the plumbing. My dishwasher is like a little funky right now. So,
Oh.
but yeah, home ownership's no joke, honestly. Like,
And you have to pay a California state homeowner tax, and it's like 1% every year.
yeah,
Like if
something like
you
that.
have to pay 1% of what your house is worth to
Right.
the government.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, property taxes?
Property
yeah.
tax.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so if your house is worth $1 million, every year you have to pay 1% of that, which would be $10,000.
$10,000, yeah.
So you just have to pay someone 10 grand for owning a house.
For owning a house. You're basically renting from the government at that point, That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, I thought I owned it. And that's some stupid shit. If this is like unless my picture of the 1800s is wrong, we'd be doing some like Boston Tea Party shit. You know what I mean? Like, did they put up with that? Or did they throw like
They
shit in the harbor?
Yeah, probably, honestly.
Okay.
Like, when did property taxes like come into effect? I don't know. That'd be a good maybe someone in the comments of this video can like comment on that for us or something,
I'll look at it.
Okay, all right.
I don't think
we'll put it in the
anyone's
notes.
gonna comment.
Okay. We'll put it in the footnotes or something. Yeah, but no, I agree with you, man. I mean, it's like things you don't think about. You know, the property tax on it, the home insurance on it. You know, all that stuff are things that come into home ownership.
So what else are you talking about with your agent? What are the phone calls like? What are the Zoom calls like? Like, have you met him face to face?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Or
You hire them. Like you pick the one that you want. And
Where
then,
what like you're not going on Craigslist to find them, are you?
well, I guess for the house in Westwood, I messaged through Redfin, like the app, and then a guy got a hold of me, and I actually kind of knew him from high school, because Westwood is near where I grew up in Quincy before, like in northeastern California where I grew up, and so I kind of knew him. So I was like, okay, this guy seems all right. And then my realtor here, I actually knew because she was a customer at the bars when I was working.
A
Yeah,
customer
yeah,
at the bars?
yeah.
So like a returning local.
Yeah, local.
Okay.
Yeah. And then she was a realtor, and I was like, oh, like, you know, I know you well enough. Like, you know, will you help me find a house? And like,
Are you
yeah.
serious?
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah. So,
She's just like this like fucking like drunk idiot.
hey, I was pouring drinks. I wasn't the one drinking. No, man. So yeah, then I guess the phone calls just kind of consist of like updating your documentation. There's a lot of papers that you have to sign.
Like what?
Just like I said, like loan documents, you know, they update loan documents constantly in a given escrow. So like they're like, okay, this is going to be your rate, your interest rate. This is how much you need to put up front, and then that might change like day to day for whatever reason. I don't know why, but and then like it's like there was a lot of times where we were gonna pay off debt through escrow to make our debt to income ratio better to qualify for a better loan. So they needed like constant credit card statements, constant billing statements from different loans that we had. And then, like the house came with like solar. So then we had to like assume the solar loan from the owners. So then we had to fill out all that paperwork. It's like a lot of stuff, dude. I mean, I literally signed a pile of papers, like a stack like this big, honestly.
Each page had your signature?
Not all of them, but most of them.
Were you reading it, or do you hire someone else to read it for you?
So
Because that's another concept.
yeah.
Are you signing what you think is like legitimate, or are you signing your soul away? Which I'm sure, like, how often does someone sign their soul?
Right. Maybe all the time.
Yeah.
Whenever you agree to the terms and conditions of something, you know, it definitely might come into play.
Did you read any paper? Or were you just happy-go-lucky sign?
I was told sign here, initial here, and I would do it, and they would flip the page, and then I would go on to the next. They would tell you though. They would say like, "Oh, this is for this, sign and date," you know, or whatever.
Okay.
And then I'd be like, and then they'd be like, "Oh, this is for X, Y, and Z."
Do you have a copy of all that?
Oh yeah, I have it all in my house now. Yeah,
PDF or paper?
paper
Where's it stored?
in my room.
In your room?
Yeah.
Like in like a cabinet or like a filing cabinet?
Well, now I feel like I'm being too specific. Somebody's gonna go in there and steal my deed.
Well,
Honestly,
what?
I need to go change the location now.
Would it even like matter if those papers got burnt?
I'm sure that they have copies of them at the title company.
Yeah.
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 So I could get like, you know, probably pay for a replacement or something.
Or could you just PDF it all and have more fucking real estate available in your room?